The pathologist who carried out the post-mortem on Demi Lee Mayen was giving evidence in court today. She said the child had suffered multiple severe and very forceful blows to cause such a degree of injury. Dr. Naomi Carter had identified 68 sites of injury, but said within those there were accentuated and prominent areas of bruising, and she couldn't say exactly how many injuries the child had suffered in total. Demi Lee's mother had been giving evidence yesterday. She didn't appear to be in court today, but the child's father was there in the public gallery listening to the evidence. Let me just remind you of the background of this case. Last July, Demi Lee, a 2-year-old toddler, was left by her mother at a flat in Eccles in the care of the 15-year-old defendant. Now, we can't identify him because of his young age. Giving evidence today, Dr. Naomi Carter, the pathologist, began by detailing the external injuries. She said that Demi Lee's face was very severely bruised and said that indicated repeated punches to the face. She said the child had a boggy swelling at the back of the head, suggesting that she'd had at least one and probably very many blows to the back of the head. She described the injuries on the child's hands as defence injuries, suggesting that the toddler had tried to defend herself from direct blows to the head and body. Injuries on the back, bruising, Dr. Carter said, was unusual on a child and suggested that Demi Lee had been repeatedly punched. Dealing with the internal injuries, she said the swelling of the brain and bleeding inside the eye suggested direct punches or possibly even that the child had been shaken. Now, at one stage, the prosecuting barrister asked the pathologist to point out some of these injuries on a diagram, to which Dr. Carter replied, "I simply couldn't fit them all onto the page." In conclusion, she said that Demi Lee had suffered a catastrophic head injury and died as a direct consequence. At the time of the incident, the defendant had said the child had fallen. The pathologist today said there were far too many injuries and in the wrong sites for them to have been caused or explained by one or even more simple falls. She said this child was subjected to a severe and sustained physical assault and died as a direct consequence. The prosecution say this is murder. The defence say the defendant suffers an abnormality of mind. That means his responsibility of his actions is substantially impaired. Tomorrow the jury will hear from psychiatrists as the case here at Manchester Crown Court continues.